One, two, three. There. Good. Do you want to keep going or what? Welcome into the Husky Dome as we get set for the final game for St. Cloud State and for UMD here at the Kelly Laas Invitational Tournament. UMD currently undefeated. St. Cloud only one loss so far, and that was a 3-1 loss against the Bemidji State Beavers yesterday. Pitching for the Huskies will be number 8, Lauren Kirchberg. And the Huskies line up defensively with Istevanovic behind the dish as Kirchberg delivers another pitch, and that is going to be low, ball 1. But Istevanovic behind the dish, and then at first will be Jasmine Estrada, second Jamie Odlum, and that is going to be a strike there. And just like that, we got another strike on the leadoff batter, Kiara Bender, for the Duluth Bulldogs. And that is another strike, so it evens the count at 2 apiece. So the 2-2 pitch, high, ball 3. 3-2 now the count, but as I was mentioning, Estrada and Odlum on the right side of the field, and then it's Raven Vanden Langenberg and Sydney Trees at third. And then in left field, Madison Spa, as this one's popped up and actually right into Spa's territory. She gets under it, and that's the first out. But taking a look at the rest of the outfield for St. Cloud State, in center, it'll be Tenley Quinnell, and then Holly Weinberger in right. As Kiara Bender just went down as she flew out to Madison Spa. Now it's going to be McMillan for UMD. McMillan, the designated hitter, and she'll take strike 1 to start it off. I believe this is the first game Lauren Kirchberg is starting this year. Started a handful last year as this is a ball outside. It's 1-1. Kirchberg pitched in 17 games. 4 of them she started, as that is going to be just outside, and it's now going to be 1-1. UMD just played the Bemidji State Beavers, as this is grounded to Odlum. Throw to first is not going to be in time, so a 1-out base hit for UMD has a runner on with 1 away. Kat Burkhart now coming up to bat. She's the center fielder, but UMD just played Bemidji State, and they beat Bemidji State 13-2 in 4 innings. As the center fielder for the Bulldogs steps into the right-handed batter's box with a runner on and 1 away here in the top of the first inning. Fouls this one away, going down the right field line. Actually, it's going to be fair. Played by Weinberger, and a good job by the right fielder for St. Cloud State to keep the Bulldogs honest on the base pass. She'll keep it just to a single for Burkhart. And now it'll be Wisey, the left fielder for UMD. All of a sudden, things are starting to turn around here for the Bulldogs. Already have 2 runners on, 1 away here in the top of the first inning. Wisey steps in, checks her swing, and that one's outside, ball 1. Kirchberg getting a little extra time as Wisey stepping out of the box, and now she'll step back in, get set. Istevanovic gives the sign to Kirchberg, and the pitch. That's high and away, ball 2. Last year, Kirchberg had a 3.16 ERA. As mentioned, she had a 5-3 win-loss record. She's primarily a reliever for St. Cloud State, but in these tournaments, you're going to see more of her as this one's hit into center field. Cornell getting under it, and she's going to not be able to come up with the ball. One run's going to come around to score here for UMD. The play at the plate is in time, or not in time, and the throw to third not in time as well. So, Wisey getting an RBI, and UMD taking a 1-0 lead early in this one. And now that'll bring up the first baseman, Schmidt, for the Bulldogs. Huskies infield just going to have a quick meeting. 1 out, 2 on. 2 runners in scoring position for the Bulldogs as their first baseman gets going. Kirchberg trying to settle things down. First pitch to Schmidt. Grounded to the left side, played by Vanden Langenberg. Throw to the plate in time, and that saves a run. Schmidt will advance to first. Wisey stays, but Burkhart is thrown out at home. Actually, Wisey advances to third as well. So 2 away here for UMD with their 6'2" catcher stepping into the batter's box coming up. As it looks like the Bulldogs coach is going to have a couple of words with the home plate umpire. Lynn Anderson in her 3rd year has heard enough from the umpire. I don't know necessarily what that was about. No substitution, though, as Zavarol steps up to the plate. Zavarol, so far this year, 214, as she graduated from Eastridge just in St. Paul. She's a Cottage Grove native as she takes ball 1. Oh no, that was going to be marked as strike 1. And that one is ball 1, though, as that is low. So it evens the count at 1 apiece. Bulldogs already have 1 run in. They're threatening with a runner on third. Runners in the corners with 2 away in the top of the first inning. And the pitch from Kirchberg, that one's high, 2-1. UMD forcing Kirchberg to throw strikes in this one early. We'll see how that kind of continues throughout the game. 2-1 pitch, ball low below the knees, and it's now 3-1. Zavarol had a home run against Bemidji State in the last game. We'll see if maybe she still has more power left in the bat and the pitch. This one's popped up, and that's going to hit the top of the dome, and it is going to land foul. And that is a great time to bring up the rules here at the Husky Dome. So if the ball hits the top of the dome and it's ruled that it was inside the foul lines, then it's just going to be a foul ball unless you catch it. Otherwise, if it hits the grass, it's a dead ball, just foul. If it were to go into foul territory and hit the top of the dome like that, then it's just a dead ball, even though Jasmine Estrada caught it. So almost serendipitous there as we get a great explanation, or a great example there by Jasmine Estrada and Raven Vanden Langenberg, as we've got a 2-2 count here for Kirchberg and the payoff pitch. This one's lined into left field. This one's deep. This is going to be right out the warning track. Gone. 3-run shot for Zavarol, and the Bulldogs have broken this one open. 4-0 is the score. Schmidt and Wisey both score as well. And now it'll be the third baseman, L. Potts. Kirchberg trying to stop the bleeding here. UMD, always a powerhouse, but this is a young UMD team as well, which kind of makes it just that much more scary because it can bring people back and get better, as this is going to be low ball 1 from Kirchberg to Potts. If the inning were to continue, second baseman Gronholz would come up for the Bulldogs. Kirchberg shaking off Istavanovich a couple times. Now she settles, and the pitch, low, ball 2. 2-0 to the third baseman. 4-0 UMD, thanks to a Sydney Zavarol 3-run shot. The pitch, and that'll be inside, ball 3. Kirchberg struggling to find the strike zone. Potts stepping back into the right-handed batter's box, and that is going to be ball 4. So Potts works her way on base with 4 straight balls. And now it'll be Gronholz. And we're going to have a meeting at the mound here for St. Cloud State, hoping to turn the fortunes of this game around. So far, they've given up 4 runs in this first inning, and they're not even out of the woods yet. They still need to get one more out to get to their half of the first inning. Right now, Kirchberg sitting with 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned and 1 walk. She's already pitched 27 times in this inning. So Gronholz stepping in to the right-handed batter's box, trying to keep the inning alive for the Bulldogs as she looks at a ball at about her knees. It's going to be a strike, and 0-1. It's a good way to turn it around if you've been having trouble finding the strike zone. Getting that first strike right away typically opens up a lot of opportunities for you, and it seems to settle you down, as now that one's low, and it'll even the count at 1 apiece. Very disciplined hitting so far by UMD. The 1-1 pitch is going to be fouled back, 1-2. Chance for Kirchberg to get out of the inning, 1 strike away, 1-2 the count, and the pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2-2 now the count. And Kirchberg now with the runs she's given up, around a 57 ERA, but that is a little deceiving considering this is some of the first games that she has played. As this one's popped up, it'll be played by Weinberger, and that is an easy pop fly, and that'll end the inning. Not before UMD does get a handful of runs across. 4-0 UMD as we go to the bottom of the first inning here on the NSIC network. Well, leading off for St. Cloud State, the second baseman, Jamie Odlum, as she looks to get started in this one. She was 0 for 3 in the first game with 2 flyouts and a strikeout. She also was hit by a pitch in the first inning, came around to score in that first inning as well, as the Huskies look to respond after a 4-run opening inning by the Bulldogs. First pitch low. Staria is pitching for UMD. And taking a look at how she did last year. Staria, or actually this year, from Superior, Wisconsin, so right across the port in Wisconsin from Duluth. As Staria has a 2.17 ERA so far this season. She's appeared in 3 games, won 2 of them, or started 2 of them, as this one's going up the middle, and that is going to be a base hit for St. Cloud State to start things off. And hopefully that is a sign of things to come, as the shortstop, Raven Van den Langenberg, coming up to bat. Van den Langenberg last game was 0 for 3, but she also was hit by a pitch in the first inning, as she shows bunt to start this at-bat. Pulls it back, and that is going to be a ball. 1-0 to the Huskies shortstop. Had a lot of power last season for St. Cloud State, and Raven continues to lead the Huskies offensively as she takes another ball, and it's going to be 2-0. But last year had a .361 batting average, had 31 RBIs, 9 home runs. And the pitch, that is going to be low, ball 3, throw to first, not in time, as Zavarol is trying to catch Odlum sleeping. 3-0 the count to the Huskies shortstop. Staria having some similar problems trying to find the strike zone. And the pitch, that's going to catch the outer half of the plate, and it'll be 3-1. Once again, Odlum on first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning, and the pitch. This is going to be grounded to the left side of the field. Throw to second is going to be in time to catch Jamie Odlum, and it'll be a fielder's choice, but Van den Langenberg still gets on, as Sydney Trees comes up to bat for St. Cloud State. Trees last season led the Huskies in home runs, 17 at 54 RBIs, a slugging of .707, at 11 walks as well. Batted .351, and the first pitch to her is going to be in there for a strike. Throw to first, not in time, as Zavarol continuing to keep the Huskies close to the first base. Trees stepping back into the right-handed batter's box to face Staria. And the pitch, low, ball 1. So barring a double play, Jasmine Estrada will come up to bat for St. Cloud State. She had a home run in game 1. And the Huskies could use that, as that is going to be outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count to the Huskies' third baseman. And kind of touched on this in the first game, but Sydney Trees, great catcher for the Huskies, but with Haley McFarland graduating, that kind of opened up a spot on the third base side, or at third base, and well, Sydney Trees has filled it nicely as she takes a strike, and it evens the count at 2 apiece. And that also opens it up for Istevanovic and Marquette to get some playing time as well. So the 2-2 delivery to Trees outside, and now we're going to get in a rundown. The throw to second is not going to be in time, as it is dropped by the Bulldogs, and that was Bender, who couldn't keep control of the puck, or not the puck, the ball, I should say, as Raven Van den Langenberg steals second. Now we're going to get a meeting, as with a base open, you want to maybe talk about giving a free pass. That opens up a double play for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs batted 8 in that first inning, where they got 4 runs. Huskies so far only have had 2 batters. They're in the midst of their third at-bat. Jamie Odlum had an opening base hit, and then Raven Van Langberg hit into a fielder's choice. Sydney Trees now with a full count, 3-2 to her name. Runner in scoring position with Van Langberg on second after stealing a bag. The pitch. This is going to be lined into right center field. That is going to score Raven Van Langenberg. The relay home is going to be cut off, and it's 1-4. And now that brings up Jasmine Estrada. A lot of power in that bat. Last year, .497 slugging percentage, 15 walks, a .340 batting average. First pitch to her is drilled into left field, and that is going to drop for a foul ball. We got some action in the Bulldogs bullpen as a pitcher is warming up. Can't quite get a number. Right now, the Bulldogs in maroon tops and maroon numbers with yellow outlining and white bottoms, as this one's going to be drilled into left field again, but this is going to go into the Bulldogs dugout. 0-2 to Jasmine Estrada. One out, one on. 4-1 in favor of the Bulldogs here in the first inning, as that one's low and away. Ball 1. So the 1-2 pitch coming up against Jasmine Estrada. And that is going to be outside, so it evens the count at 2 apiece. Got to be careful with Estrada, especially now that you've got a runner on. You don't want to give up a big hit that could cut into your lead. As this one's popped up, and that's going to hit the top of the dome, and that is going to be caught by Bender. So that'll be that will be a putout for Kiera Bender. That'll also be the second out of the inning as Holly Weinberger steps up to the plate. So far, 2 hits for St. Cloud State in this first inning. 1 already in, and the pitch to the right fielder outside, ball 1. And that is going to be grounded to the shortstop. The throw to first is not going to be in time, and that'll be an infield single for Holly Weinberger. Polfuss coming up to bat for St. Cloud State. Now with runners on first and second, 2 away. Huskies threatening here. And we're going to get another mound visit. We might get a new pitcher here soon for UMD. Looked like Allison Luma was warming up, another Wisconsin native. She also went to UW Superior before coming to the Bulldogs. So now Polfuss comes up to the batter's box for St. Cloud State. Chance to tie things up with a big home run as she takes a ball in the dirt. It's going to be 1-0 to start off the Huskies' designated hitter. Second pitch, that's going to be in there for a strike, laid off by Polfuss. thought about it for a second, but thought better of it and held back on swinging. So 1-1 the count and the pitch. This is going to be lined straight to the second baseman, and that'll be it for the inning. So the Huskies get a trio of hits. They do get one run back, but it's still 4-1 Bulldogs after one inning. So getting us started in the second inning will be Dia De Leon for UMD, the right fielder, the only Bulldog not to hit in that first inning, as UMD now with a slightly slimmer lead. 4-1 is the score. A 3-run lead is what they have, as that is going to be an outside pitch that paints the black, and it is 0-1. Kirchberg gets a sign and delivers, and this one's going to be grounded to the third base side. Almost hits a couple of UMD players, even though they're behind the net. That's how fast that ball was going. So now 0-2 to De Leon. After that, it will be back to the top of the order with Kiera Bender, as this one is going to be in there for a foul ball. Or just in there for a ball, I should say. So 1-2 the count now. And the payoff pitch. And that is going to be a strikeout looking, as De Leon is the first strikeout victim for Lauren Kirchberg. Back to the top of the order in the shortstop, Kiera Bender. Bender flew out in that first inning. Kirchberg looking to work a clean second inning after a rough first. Pitched 27 pitches or more, as that is going to be inside for a ball. Bender, a left-handed hitter. And the Huskies not really playing too much to that pull side. And that'll be outside, ball 2. After Bender will be Ava Johnson, as the Bulldogs look to try and increase their lead in the pitch. This is going to be fouled off the toes of Bender, and it's now going to be 2-1. Already a pretty good day for UMD, trying to make it better, as here's the pitch outside, and it's going to be 3-1. So a 3-1 pitch coming from Kirchberg, and needing a get-me-over strike, as this is going to ground into the right field, played by Weinberger, and that'll be a hit for Kiera Bender. And now Johnson coming up and hitting for McMillan. McMillan hit a single, but Johnson getting her first at-bat of the day. High, ball 1, throw to second is going to be in time, as Istevanovic hoses Kiera Bender, and it is now a 2-out second inning. Now back to the batter in Ava Johnson. Steps into the left-handed batter's box. Pitch from Kirchberg up the middle and gets past a diving Raven Van den Langenberg, played by Quinnell, and that is another hit for UMD. And now the center fielder, Kat Burkhart. She was thrown out trying to take home plate after a fielder's choice by first baseman Schmidt. She'll look to try and move Johnson over just 45 feet or more. Try and keep the inning alive, as that is going to be a ball outside. Burkhart, 1 for 1. Got, as I mentioned, all the way to third base before getting thrown out at home. Pitch low, and that'll be ball 2. If the inning were to continue, Wisey would come up to bat for the Bulldogs. Pitch, that's going to be a strike called, and now it's 2-1 to Kat Burkhart. Lauren Kirchberg trying to pitch a clean sheet here in the second inning. 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. So 2 called strikes brings Kirchberg back even with Burkhart. So now a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Runner on first in the top of the second inning. 2-2 delivery. This is going to be grounded foul. We'll do it again. Looked like Johnson was going on contact there, and I mean, that's what you do when you have the 2 outs, but she was taking a very healthy lead. And here's the 2-2 pitch from Kirchberg. This is going to be fouled back again, this time a little bit towards the first base line. So we'll remain 2-2 for the time being. Burkhart getting her bat back. She steps back into the right-handed batter's box. The 2-2 delivery once again. This is going to be grounded to Raven Van den Langenberg. Fields it on a hop, throw to first in time. And that'll do it for the Bulldogs in this half inning. They get 2 hits as they strand 1. We go to the bottom of the second inning, 4-1 in favor of UMD. Leading off the bottom of the 6th inning for St. Cloud State will be the catcher Istavanovich. Then it will be Madison Spa and then Quinnell for St. Cloud State. As the bottom trio gets a chance to shine here. The Huskies left 2 on base in that first inning. They had 3 hits. They got a run back, and they have a chance to kind of cut into that lead after a scoreless second inning from the Bulldogs. So here we go with Istavanovich. First pitch to her, low, ball 1. Istavanovich did not play in the first game of the day. Instead, it was Marquette for the Huskies doing the catching duties, as that one's low again, 2-0 to start off the Huskies catcher. Staria still pitching, as this one is going to get grounded up the middle. Fielded by Bender. Throw on to first is going to be in time, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Madison Spa for St. Cloud State. She'll step into the left-handed batter's box. And she had a 0 for 3 day in the first game, looking to turn things around as she takes ball one. This will be her first at-bat of the game, and that'll be ball. 2-0 now the count to the Huskies left fielder. Also a left-handed batter. Pitch outside, ball 3. We'll see. Huskies like to be aggressive, so maybe Spa has the go-ahead here with a 3-0 count. But typically it's kind of taboo to swing in this situation. Pitch, and that'll be outside, and it'll bring the count to 3-1, so it didn't look like Spa was going to be swinging at that one anytime soon. So now it's a 3-1 count. And this one's lined into left field, and that's going to be right towards the left fielder, Wisey. Anywhere else in the gap, and that is a double, but instead it is the second out of the inning. And it's up to Tenley Quinnell to try and keep this from being a 1-2-3 inning for the Huskies. Left-handed batter gets set. We're ready to go here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Outside, ball 1. Quinnell in the first game was 1 for 3, or 2 for 3, I should say. And the pitch, this one's hit high and into shallow left center, and that is going to be caught by the Bulldogs, and that'll be a 1-2-3 inning. So the Huskies, no runs, no hits, nobody left as we go to the top of the third inning, still 4-1 in favor of the Bulldogs. So getting us started here in the third inning will be the left fielder for the Bulldogs, Wisey. Had a double that brought in a run in the first inning. Actually, that was the first run of the game. As she gets started here in the third inning. And this is going to be grounded to the third base line, and that is going to be fair. And it's going to be played by the Huskies, as that is another double for Wisey, and the Bulldogs lead off the inning with a runner in scoring position. Schmidt now up to bat. 0 for 1, but came around to score in the first inning after a fielder's choice. After Schmidt, it will be the catcher, Zavarro, for the Bulldogs. First pitch is going to be in there for a strike, and that'll be a good way to start this at-bat out, as you really don't want to let another Bulldog on unless you're just going to wave the white flag on this one and maybe set up a double play, but usually you want to try and keep things in control, as this is a bunt that's going to roll foul, as Istavanovich was diving after it, as well as Kirchberg and the third baseman for the Huskies in Sidney Trees. It'll be a foul ball. 0-2 now the count, though, to Schmidt. She'll be swinging at anything close. 0-2 payoff pitch is going to be popped up foul behind home plate. It'll remain an 0-2 count. Kirchberg primarily a pitch-to-contact pitcher. If you're looking for strikeouts, that's probably going to be Trinity Junker for you. Had a perfect game yesterday to start off the Huskies' year, and this pitch is going to be high, ball one. So Kirchberg trying to climb the ladder to get Schmidt to try and swing out of her shoes. Instead, it's ball one, so 1-2 now the count. Kirchberg gets a sign from Miss Stevanovic. The pitch outside. It evens the count at 2 apiece. Kirchberg has settled down since that first inning, or at least she did in the second, only seeing 4 batters. And this is going to be a ball, so now a 3-2 count. But as I mentioned, she kind of settled down in that second inning, but now a leadoff double and now a full count to Schmidt threatens to kind of break that cool that Kirchberg was starting to build up. Full count delivery from Kirchberg. Lined into left field, and that's going to get down for a hit. Played by the Huskies and throwing into third. And they'll keep Wise at third. So Schmidt gets a single, and that'll bring up Sydney Zavarol. But so far, Madison Spa getting a workout there in left field. Zavarol, a lot of power. We saw it in the game before this one. And so far, she does have a home run. She had a 3-run shot in the first inning, and that's going to find its way for a strike. So 0-1 the count to the catcher for UMD. 3 RBIs already for her as she has a runner on third. Looks to bunt, and this is going to get down but foul. So now 0-2. Big chance here for Lauren Kirchberg. Strikeout would maybe, I think, would at least calm you down a little bit. And the 0-2 pitch, ball just low. And it's now 1-2. Kirchberg gets a sign from Miss Stevanovic. The 1-2 delivery low, and that's going to be smothered by Stevanovic, but Schmidt moves up 45 feet, and it's now runners at second and third, nobody out. Huskies have someone warming up in the bullpen as well. That is going to be Emma Eichhoff as this one's lined into left field. Played by Spa. The throw home is going to be cut off. And no UMD player was going after that. So it is going to be one away here after a fly out by Zavarol. Now coming up, the third baseman, El Potts. Runners on second and third, one away. Huskies trying not to give up another run. Already down by 3, as that's a big swing and a miss there by Potts, and she comes up empty-handed, 0-1. Eichhoff already pitched today. She pitched 3 innings in that first game, gave up 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and that is going to be outside for a ball. 1-1 now the count. Potts so far in this one, 0 for 0. She had a walk in the first inning. Was stranded at first, though. And a big swing and a miss again, 1-2, as she got a little bit of that one But Istevanovic holds on, and it's 1-2. After this, Gronholz will come up for the Bulldogs. The pitch outside, and that'll be ball 2. So 2-2 now the count to the third baseman for the Bulldogs. Kirchberg trying to work her way around a leadoff double and then a single right after that. And a stolen base as well by Schmidt. Two and two the count to L. Potts. The pitch popped up, and that's going to hit the top of the Husky Dome, and that'll fall foul. So we'll do it again. 2-2, still the count. Lauren Kirchberg already 63 pitches into this outing. 1 strikeout and 1 walk, 4 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. And the pitch outside, and that is going to be outside by maybe a couple inches, not much. And now it is a full count, 3-2. Kirchberg going to need to find a way to put this one away. L. Potts has battled back from 0-2 to bring the count full. 3-2 payoff pitch coming up from Kirchberg to Potts. And the pitch lined into left field, and that's going back, and that's gone. 3-run shot for L. Potts, and the Bulldogs double their lead. And that's a tough pill to swallow for the Huskies. Now down 6-1. And then that's probably it for Lauren Kirchberg, as she is done for today. She pitched 2 1/3 innings, 1 strikeout, a walk, and 7 earned runs. Emma Eichhoff will come in relief for St. Cloud State. And the Huskies need a stopgap right now, as right now they can't probably give up any more runs. The Huskies do have a lot of pop in their bats, but, I mean, you're down 7-1 this early. It's tough to come back. But Emma Eichhoff, like I said, started game 1 for the Huskies, went 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts as she gets set to face off Gronholz. Gronholz 0 for 1 so far in this one, flew out to Madison Spa, and that is going to be a ball to start her off. 1-0 the count to the second baseman for the Bulldogs. Eichhoff winds and delivers. Swing and a miss as she climbs the ladder with the changeup. Not something you see often, and Gronholz was fooled on that one. 1-1 now the count. And now the 1-1 pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Another changeup as Eichhoff pushing and pulling on the throttle here early in her relief appearance, trying to keep the Huskies in this one. 1-2 payoff pitch coming up. Swing and a miss, and she got him. 2 outs now here in the third inning as Eichhoff comes in, gets her first strikeout on her first batter faced. Now it'll be Dia De Leon for the Bulldogs. She's 0 for 1. She was the only strikeout victim for Lauren Kirchberg, and that started off the second inning. First pitch is going to be dropped in there for a ball. 1-0 now the count. De Leon, the right fielder for the Bulldogs. And the pitch fouled back, and it's going to be 1-1. So you take away the home runs that the Bulldogs have hit, and this is a 1-1 game. Instead, though, it is 7-1 with 2 3-run shots, as that is going to be high, and it is going to bring the count to 2-1, and that was very close to the strike zone. So now the 2-1 pitch. Stefanovic sets up inside, it is, and it's going to be 3-1 as De Leon lays off that one. De Leon stepping back into the left-handed batter's box with a 3-1 count, and the pitch is going to be outside, ball 4. And that'll bring up Kiana Bender. 1 for 2 so far, as she was caught stealing in the second inning after getting a base hit. She also flew out to Madison Spa to start the game. First pitch to Bender. A strike right down Main Street, and it's now 0-1. The pitch to Bender high, and that'll be 1-1. So an even count for the shortstop for UMD, and that's inside, ball 2. Two and one, the count to the shortstop. Might see a changeup here as this one's popped up, and that is going to be Weinberger as she drops back, and instead Quinnell is going to bring the bag up, and the throw home is going to be not in time. And De Leon scores. So a double for Kiera Bender. And now Ava Johnson coming up. Johnson, 1 for 1 so far in this game. Came in for McMillan. First pitch, ball. And the second pitch in there for a strike, as that is more of a get me over, get back even at the count. So it's now 1-1, the count to Ava Johnson, the designated hitter. Pitch, this one lined foul and right into the glove of Sydney Trees, who plays it cleanly. So it'll be a 1-2 count now to Ava Johnson. And that'll be a strike, and that'll do it for the third inning, as the Bulldogs strike again, and they put up 4 here in the third inning. As we go to the bottom of the third, it is currently 8-1 in favor of UMD. new pitcher for the Bulldogs in Loma as she finally gets warm. The UW Superior transfer. As Staria's day is done, she goes 2 innings and only gave up 1 run, and the first pitch is over and in for a ball. Luma sets, delivers, second pitch is going to be grounded to the shortstop, Bender. Bender's throw to first is going to be in time, and the first batter is down for St. Cloud State. That'll bring up Raven Van den Langenberg. And the pitch inside, ball 1. Raven so far in this one has reached on a fielder's choice, as that is going to be in there for a strike, as it was about chest high. But she reached on a fielder's choice, stole second, and came around to score in the first inning, as she has been the only run that the Huskies have been able to produce. Hopefully they can turn that one around. Lined into the third base, and that is going to be fair. The throw to first in time, and it is 2 away here for St. Cloud State. Now it'll bring up the third baseman, Sydney Trees. She's 1 for 1 with an RBI. Brought home Raven Van den Langenberg in the first inning. Huskies could use at least a hit to not go down 1-2-3 again, and the pitch outside, ball 1. One and 0 to the Huskies' third baseman. And the second pitch is going to be another ball. 2-0. So far, the Huskies have been retired 7 straight, or the Bulldogs have retired 7 straight, as that is going to be inside for ball 3. Almost got away from Zavarol there, but not much can get past a 6-2 frame. Actually, watching her throw down to second, she doesn't even throw from her feet. She throws from her knees so that she doesn't have to get out of position, and that is going to be inside, ball 4. So the Huskies break up the out streak and now have a runner on for Jasmine Estrada. She flew out to the shortstop, Kiera Bender, in the first inning. And the Huskies could use one of her home runs right now. It's currently 8-1 in favor of the Bulldogs. The first pitch outside and low, ball 1. As Zavarol gets the sign from her coach, lays down a 2, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the breaking ball, and that is an 0-1 count now to the Huskies' first baseman. We'll see if they go back to the breaking ball. Looks like maybe they will. Pitch, that's going to be a little bit of a looper to second, throw on to first in time, and the Huskies go down, but not before they get a runner on. They'll leave one as we go to the top of the 4th inning, currently 8-1 in favor of UMD. leading off the fourth inning for the Bulldogs will be their center fielder in Kat Burkhart. Currently 1 for 2 in the game. She had a single, and then she also grounded out to Raven Vanden Langenberg. She receives a ball in the dirt for ball 1. Emma Eichhoff came in to that second inning and did give up a run, but got 2 strikeouts in the mix as well. In the pitch, this is going to be grounded to Raven, throw on to first in time, and that'll be the second 6-3 put out for Kat Burkhart, and a good way to start off the top of the fourth inning for St. Cloud State. Now it'll be the left fielder Wisey coming up. She is currently 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. She has an RBI, and she's also come home to score twice in the game already. We'll see if her double streak continues. And the pitch lined into left field, and that is going to get down for a foul ball. And it'll be 0-1. Wisey stepping back into the right-handed batter's box. And the pitch from Eichhoff, and this is going to be fouled back. So now 0-2. Zykoff working quickly ahead of Corey Wisey. As we get a couple of new balls here, so we were running short. So we'll get back into it as Wisey steps back in. 0-2 count. And the pitch high, ball 1. Stevanovic getting some signs from Mitch Roberts as she'll relay it to Eichhoff in the pitch. Swing and a miss as she gets Wisey to chase at that one. Third strikeout of the day for Emma Eichhoff. And now it'll be Schmidt coming up to bat. She's 1 for 2. She's come around to score twice. She's also stolen a base. And this ball lined fouled on the third base line, and Emma Eichhoff once again getting ahead of the batter, 0-1. You talk to any pitcher, though, that is the key to getting ahead and having a good day. Getting out ahead 0-1 or 1-0 can really kind of determine what kind of a day you're going to have, as this one's fouled back. Now 0-2. Justice Porter warming up in the Huskies bullpen, as well as Trinity Junker. So you've got some double barrel action going. Emma Eichhoff has already pitched 3 innings before this one, as she's looking to have her first full inning, and this is going to be dribbled foul. And it'll remain in an 0-2 count here to Schmidt. Schmidt steps back in, getting ready to go. And the pitch way high as Istevanovic had to reach all the way up to the top floor and bring that one back down. And it's now 1-2. Eight to 1 in favor of the Bulldogs, as this one's going to be outside, ball 2. 2-2 now the count. Bulldogs 1 run away from getting that 8-run lead that would probably end the game, as this one gets past Istevanovic, and it's now going to be 3-2 the count to Schmidt. Schmidt has battled back from 0-2 to now bring the count full. On deck for the Bulldogs, the catcher, Zavarol. First pitch from Eichhoff, or the payoff pitch from Eichhoff is high, and that'll be a walk. So now a runner on for Sydney Zavarol. Zavarol 1 for 2. Home run and 3 RBI so far to her name. All the Bulldogs really need is one, though, to try and get that mercy rule, as this one's lined into right center field. That's going to be played off a hop by Tenley Quinnell. The throw to second base is going to be just past Raven Van den Langberg. The throw back is going to be not in time. And the Bulldogs have second and third with 2 away. That'll bring up the third baseman, L. Potts. Potts so far 1 for 1. She walked in the first inning and then hit a 3-run homer in the last inning. That gave the Bulldogs a 7-1 lead. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound, and this might be it for Emma Eichhoff, as the Huskies may want to try and keep this game within reach. Both Justice Porter and Trinity Junker continuing to warm up in the Huskies bullpen. So it looks like the Huskies won't go into the bullpen just yet this inning, as L. Potts will step back into the batter's box. And she'll probably be looking for at least 1 run, maybe 2. Try and continue this inning for UMD. On the other end of things, though, Emma Eichhoff trying to stop this Bulldog threat in its tracks. And the pitch in there for a strike, as Eichhoff starts Potts out with a changeup. And it is 0-1. Potts taking an exaggerated swing and now steps back into the batter's box. Might get another changeup here. And that's just high, and it'll be ball 1. Another changeup. Once again, Potts taking a big swing for practice and now stepping back in. Runners at second and third. 2 away, and the pitch. This one's lined into left field, and that's going back. Gone. Second home run for Potts today. Second home run in 2 innings. And 6 RBIs so far for Potts. So 3 have already come in for the Bulldogs, as Julia Gronholz comes up to bat. She's 0 for 2 so far today. She was the first strikeout victim for Emma Eichhoff, as she has currently had 3 so far, as that first pitch is going to get over for a strike. This 4th inning started out with 2 outs for the Huskies, but then a walk and a double. And then a home run by L. Potts has given the Bulldogs now an 11-1 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. This is the 6th batter for UMD, as that is going to be in there for a ball, and it's now 1-2 now the count to second baseman Gronholz. The pitch, this one's going to get past Sydney Trees, but it's only because it's foul, and it's now 1-2. Or I should say it remains 1-2, I guess, because it doesn't really change the count. So far, UMD 12 hits to the Huskies 3. Emma Eichhoff, pitch low, and that'll bring the count even to 2-2. Both the Huskies and the Bulldogs have left 3 runners on base. As the Bulldogs using a trio of home runs to really break this game open. Trio of 3-run homers, I should say, as this one once again is fouled down the third base line. 9 of the 11 runs off the home run ball. 3 true outcomes, I guess. Walk, home run, or strikeout, as this one is going to be a strike 3 called looking. That'll be the 4th strikeout for Emma Eichhoff, but it may be too late. Huskies down 11-1. They'll try and bounce back here in the bottom of the 4th inning on the NSIC network. Leading off the bottom of the 4th inning for St. Cloud State will be Holly Weinberger. She's 1 for 1. She had a single in that 1st inning. Well, the Huskies, they need some hits as they currently find themselves down 10 as Weinberger steps up to the plate. Left-handed hitter. A much-needed veteran presence as here's the pitch outside. I wouldn't say, I guess, much needed. The Huskies have had quite a lot of returning players. Actually, the first 5 on their lineup is actually seniors, as this is going to be outside ball 1 or ball 2. Actually, only 3 players in the Huskies lineup are not seniors. 2 juniors and a sophomore, with Holzfuss, as this one's going to be grounded to Bender. Throw on to first in time, and the Bulldogs start off the 4th inning with a 6-3 putout. So here's one of the 3 underclassmen, or 3 players that aren't a senior on the Huskies lineup, as Holzfuss steps into the batter's box. She's a junior. And then it is Madison Spa and Tenley Quinnell, are sophomores and juniors respectively, as there's a strike looking for Holzfuss. So far in this one, she's 0 for 1. And that is going to be a ball. Evens the count at 1-1. In the first game, she was 1 for 2. Had 2 walks and came around to score once. As this is going to be grounded back to Bender. Fields it on a hop throw onto first in time. And the second 6-3 put out of the inning. And that'll bring up Istevanovic, as the Huskies looking down the barrel of a 10-run deficit, trying to get something going. Huskies in the last 2 innings have only gotten 1 base runner. As that first pitch is going to be a ball. So Istevanovic trying to work ahead of the Bulldogs. For second pitch is going to be a called strike, and it's now 1-1. Luma pretty dominant here for the Bulldogs in relief. Gets the sign and the pitch, and that's a big swing and a miss, and it's now 1-2. One-two delivery to Istevanovic. Swung and hit to the second baseman, and it gets past Gronholz, and it's going to be a runner on here for St. Cloud State. As now coming up, it'll be Madison Spa for the Huskies. First pitch to her is going to be low and away, ball one. Istevanovic will have that hit be ruled a single. So the Huskies' first hit since the first inning is currently residing at first base. A 2-0 count to the Huskies catcher to the Huskies left fielder Madison Spa, as that is going to be low and away, ball three. 3-0 the count, and the Huskies trying to work their way back into this one after the first two batters going down. Pitch in there for a strike, and it's now 3-1. That was more of a get me over strike, and also it looked like Spa was taken all the way. Luma changing up the speed there, and now here's the pitch, and that might be a little Texas leaguer. No, it'll be caught by the Bulldogs, and that will pretty much wrap up that fourth inning. So the Huskies get one hit, and they'll leave that hit on as we go to the top of the fifth inning, 11-1 in favor of the Bulldogs. New pitcher for St. Cloud State, Justice Porter. She also pitched in the first game. Came in to relieve Eichhoff, so a little bit of deja vu there. As now for the Bulldogs, it'll be De Leon stepping in for her second at-bat. Currently 0 for 1. Came around to score in the third inning off a walk. And the pitch, that's going to be a strike. Justice Porter trying to keep the Huskies in it, not let any more damage come across the plate. And the pitch, that'll be a ball. Just low, and it's now 1-1. So the 1-1 pitch here as the first batter takes now another ball high. De Leon, so far, as I mentioned, one walk, but she also was the only strikeout victim of Lauren Kirchberg in her abbreviated outing, as this one's going to be fouled back It's now 2-2. Huskies so far victims of the long ball in this one. 9 runs off a trio of 3-run home runs. Now the 2-2 pitch coming to De Leon. Swing and a miss, and that's her second strikeout of the day, and it's the first one for Justice Porter. I'll bring us back to the top of the order for the Bulldogs as Bender steps in to bat. She's 2 for 3. Was caught stealing in the second inning. Also had a double in third. That brought home a run as well. First pitch taken, and it was a good one as it's going to be called a strike. 0-1 to the shortstop. And there's another strike as that one paints the corner. Now 0-2 the count to Kiera Bender. On deck for the Bulldogs, Ava Johnson. The payoff pitch to Bender is going to be fielded by Trees. Throw to first is going to be in time for the out. And a 5-3 put out for the Huskies has them knocking on the door of a 1-2-3 inning. The first time that would happen today. As Ava Johnson comes up to bat, she is currently 1 for 2. Had a single in the second inning and then struck out in the third. Getting her third at bat here in the fifth inning. First pitch to her, called strike. So 0-1 to the shortstop for UMD. Second pitch in there for a strike. Now 0-2 as Justice Porter, the freshman, trying to work her way to the Huskies' first 1-2-3 inning. One strike away from doing that. Giving the Huskies a chance to come back in this one. Pitch is going to be grounded to Estrada. She'll step on first for an unassisted force out, and that'll do it here in the fifth inning for the UMD Bulldogs. No hits, no runs, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Huskies down 11. New pitcher for the Bulldogs as Lauren Dixon is going to get stretched out for UMD. So far, the Wisconsin native has a 1.35 ERA with a 1.26 whip, 1-0 on the season. She started 2 games and appeared in 3, and she's looking to close this game out. Huskies trying not to get mercy ruled. Leading off for St. Cloud State will be Tenley Quinnell, currently 0 for 1 in the game. She flew out in the second inning, and this is going to be a ball to start off the at-bat for the Huskies center fielder. And the pitch, that's going to be another ball, so 2-0 now to Tenley as she's trying to get herself on and give the Huskies a leadoff runner. Pitch checks her swing, ball 3. 3-0. Cornell trying to get something going. Shows bunt, takes it, ball 4. So a leadoff runner here for St. Cloud State, and maybe some hope as Jamie Odlum steps up to the plate. Currently 1 for 2. Led off the game with a single, and then in the 3rd inning, grounded out to Bender. Cornell on first. First pitch to Odlum, in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Here comes the pitch as this one's lifted into foul territory, hits the top of the dome, and that'll bring us to a 0-2 count. Odlum trying to stay alive here, and the pitch fouled back, and she'll stay alive. One more pitch, though, at least. She could fall back a couple more. Who knows? Dixon came in, gave up a leadoff walk, and now the pitch to Odlum, fouled back once again. The 0-2 pitch to Odlum, and that's going to dribble in. The throw down to second is going to be not in time. And we've got time here as Cornell moves to second base on the pass ball. And it looks like I don't know. No one's meeting together except the infield for the Bulldogs, and it looks like now their coach will join them as well. With Cornell on second, the Huskies are currently trying to get something going. They scored 1 run in the first inning and have been quiet ever since. They've only had 1 hit since the first inning, and that came in the third. Or that came last inning, I should say, thanks to Istevanovich's single. As the Bulldogs continuing to meet on the mound. 1-2 the count to Jamie Odlum. But so far for the Huskies, kind of a tough final game of the Kelly Laas Invitational. They'll be off for a week, and then they'll go down to Missouri, play a series of games there, and then after that they'll head to Florida as well and play a handful of games there, and then they'll go back to Missouri, and then it'll be back for some softball here in Minnesota as they'll go to Selke Field. Still don't really know who initiated this stop. I think it may be because that ball hit Odlum. There's some smiles there, so she should be pretty good as she's now up on her feet. she was taking a knee earlier, and I didn't know if that was maybe because she got the wind knocked out of her or what, as she is going to be walking off. Still doesn't have the helmet on, but she'll end up going back to the dugout. So the Huskies will have a pinch hitter coming up. And that pinch hitter is going to be Lydia Kruger. And she had a single in the first game. She came around to score as well in that first game as well. And St. Cloud State with a runner on second, looking to get one run back and continue the inning. And the pitch from Dixon, high and away, ball one. Actually, that's ball two, I should say, because Kruger inherits the count from Odlum. And the pitch, that's going to be a ball. Full count now as they appeal down to third. No swing, and it's a full count, 3-2 to Lydia Kruger. The payoff pitch coming from Dixon, and the pitch is going to be ball four. And that'll be the second straight walk for Dixon, and now we go back to Raven Vanden Langenberg. So Raven so far in this one, 0 for 2. She reached in the first inning on a fielder's choice, came around to score, also stole a bag in that first inning as she watches strike one fly by, and it's 0-1. If the inning continues, which it probably will, barring a triple play, as this one is going to be lined down the first base line, foul. And it is going to remain an 0-2 count. But after this, it'll be Sydney Trees coming up for St. Cloud State. She's 1 for 1 with an RBI. She also walked in the third inning. But right now, Raven is up to bat, and the pitch low, and that's ball one. Dixon having trouble racing that drop ball. It looks like it's just not getting much height at all to start off, so when it drops, it just drops right over the plate. The pitch, this one's going to be popped up and hits the dome. It's going to be caught by the Bulldogs, but it's going to be ruled a foul ball. So Vanden Langenberg stays alive. 1-2 count here to Vanden Langenberg, and the pitch high and inside, 2-2 as Raven has to duck out of the way. She doesn't want to be listening to any of that chin music. So far, both batters Dixon has faced have walked, as this one's going to be grounded to the first base side. It's going to be fielded by the Bulldogs, and that'll be an unassisted ground out. But everyone moves up 45 feet. And now Sydney Trees comes up to bat with runners on second and third, one away. So now Sydney Trees coming up to the plate. Already one RBI to her name. Only run batted in for the Huskies, and she'll watch strike one. And it's 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch outside, ball one, and it evens the count at one apiece. On deck for the Huskies, Jasmine Estrada. Trees setting back up and getting ready with a 1-1 count in the pitch. Swing and a miss for Sydney Trees, and now she's behind 1-2. That was a big swing and a miss, and she was looking for a home run on that one probably. 1-2 pitch, foul back. She'll stay alive. 1-2, the count remains. Still runners on second and third. No, one out. Both runners on base via walks. As Dixon gets set and delivers. That's high. And it's now 2-2. So this is starting to become a trend here for Dixon. Starts to work ahead, tries to nibble around the corners, ends up falling back behind into 2-2 and 3-2 counts. Here's the 2-2 as this one's going to be fouled back into the dome. And Trees will stay alive. But so far for Dixon, she's working ahead and then falling back behind in counts and then ending up walking batters. Here's the 2-2 count and the pitch. Swing and a miss. There's the strikeout that she's been looking for. She goes right down the pipe, and that is the first strikeout for Dixon, and now that brings up Jasmine Estrada, who is currently 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out. She could be the final out of this one. Huskies currently down by 10. And after 5, if you're leading by 8, it's a mercy rule. First pitch, that's a strike on the outer half of the plate. Estrada had a home run in the first game. Could sure use one in this second one. Estrada behind in the count, 0-1, and the pitch, swing and a miss, 0-2. If the inning were to continue, left fielder Holly Weinberger would come up to the plate. And the 0-2 payoff delivery here to Jasmine Estrada. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Bulldogs beat the Huskies by a final score of 11-1. Huskies couldn't quite get the offense going after that first inning. They got a couple of runners in scoring position in that final inning, but 2 strikeouts and a fielder's choice end the Husky threat. And that'll pretty much do it here from the Husky Dome. Taking a look at some of the key players in this one. Well, of course, you got to take a look at Elle Potts, the third baseman for the Bulldogs. 2 for 2 with 6 RBIs, 2 home runs, and a walk. Came around to score twice as well. Sydney Zavarol had a home run in the first inning to give the Bulldogs a 4-1 lead and never look back from that first inning. And it was just kind of a tough one for the Huskies. Luckily, they'll see them again. NSIC foes, they'll probably see them in conference play, and they'll have some chances to make up for a tough loss here at the Husky Dome. But 11-1 is going to be your final here from the NSIC Network. Have a good night, everybody.